So you've had the discovery call, the client has said yes, it's a client you'd like to move forward with, they're a good fit. And then you have to start sorting the payment process. You have to sort an invoice on Stripe. You have to create a contract on DocuSign. You've got to go in, you've got to add all the detail. Takes you a little while. You have to go in, add the details, then you have to watch to see if they sign the contract, then you have to wait to see if they make payment, and then you have to go in and manually start your onboarding process by sending them a welcome email and patch it working everything together. Well, it's 2025. There is a much easier way to get your clients booked, get you paid, and get clients started working with you. And it'll only take you a couple of minutes to set up. And I'm talking about using Dubsado. Hi, I'm Betsan. I'm a certified Dubsado specialist. I've used Dubsado for years and absolutely love it. I have set up many setups for other online service providers, and they all love the Dubsado onboarding payment process for their clients. This is a follow-up to my last video where I showed you how to set up a discovery call workflow within Dubsado. If you haven't seen that one yet, make sure to check it out first. And if you want to skip the guesswork, I've got a free Dubsado discovery call workflow template you can grab. I'll link it in the description below. If you're ready to turn that yes into a smooth professional client experience, let's dive in. First, we'll walk through payment plans. Your payment plans are found on the left-hand side under templates. At the bottom here, payment plans. So here you can do whatever your payment plan is. If it's a retainer, so if you're doing a retainer client, so they're paying X amount each month, I would have that as pay in full, because then you would go in and after and set up a recurring invoice. If it's a service you're offering, like a setup or anything like that, or a coaching program, you would have a fixed deposit. You can add in reminders, emails to go out before the payment is due, saying, just let you know, payment's due in a couple of days. If they don't make the payment, it can be, oh, you haven't made your payment. It'll send the invoices out on the day or when the payments are due for the payment plan, etc. Again, if it's on retainer, you would set up a recurring invoice to do this for you. So just a quick one, payment plans can be attached to the proposals, but they can also be attached to the workflows. Don't attach them to both, otherwise it will cause an error and the workflow won't run. If it's pay in full, I tend to just pop this on the proposal because it doesn't really matter. But if it's a fixed deposit or a pay in 3 or a 50-50, whatever it is, I will pop this on the workflow because you'll want the workflow to trigger your onboarding workflow after the first payment is made. So now we'll go through the settings on the proposal. So the best way to optimize this. So click on your proposal. You would need to go on to settings, make sure your proposal has the packages attached so that they can choose it, the package, and add it to the invoice. So they can choose whichever package they want. If it's a service, you can have it set as pre-selected. So if they've got one choice, or there's add-ons, anything like that. So you want to make sure if you've got contract or terms that need to be signed, you'll make sure that the include contract is toggled on. And you'll also want to make sure that the include invoice is also toggled on. If you would like the invoice to expire, you can pop your expiry date here. I've got 10 days after the proposal's applied to the project. You can do a fixed date, you can do no expiration. You can add reminders here for if they don't fill in your proposal, but I prefer to add these into the workflow just because if you add them in here, just the same email goes out over and over again. If you add it into the workflow, you can select which email it is. You can have a different one go 3 days after and a different one go out 7 days after, and so on. So that covers the settings on your proposal. I will show you now how that looks to the client when you send it over. So this is what the proposal looks like for your clients. So we have the 3 tabs across the top here, the proposal, contract, and invoice, which you can click on, but if you go in before the packages are selected, it doesn't autofill. So here you have the proposal details. It will auto-populate for you if you put the smart fields in, so you don't have to go in and add their name and add the date and everything like that. It will do it for you. You can have their business name in here. I also forgot to mention this is one of my templates that if you'd like to buy, I'll pop the link below in the description. Then you just add them to your account in one click. Really easy to use, really easy to customize. So they can go down, they can select which package they want, they'll scroll down and the total is now showing at the bottom. They can click next and it will take them through to the contract. So here it will populate all the details of the package and everything like that. And they can go in and they can sign the contract. Super easy for them to do. You don't have to go in. You don't have to edit the contract. It's all populated by Dubsado with the smart fields and just really super easy to use for you and the client. So they sign the contract, super easy, and then click agree and next, or agree and submit. And then it will take them through to their invoice. And all they got to do is click pay now, and they can just add in their details, pay now, and that is how they complete their payment. Super easy and super simple for the client and for yourself. So now for the fun part, on to the workflow. I've got this one set up for a retainer. To be honest, it would be the same for if it was a deposit paid. You would just have the workflow attached here. I will show you now how you would attach the payment plan for if you had a deposit. So we've got fixed deposit. So select the workflow at the top here. And instead of after invoice paid in full, it would be hold actions until after invoice installment paid. And then you'll be able to select what payment the workflow needs to be watching before it moves forward. And then just click apply. Okay, so the first step of the workflow is add tag. This got retainer, but obviously if it's a different service, you can add the tag of the service here. So add tag retainer immediately after workflow started, just to keep everything nice and tidy, and just so you know what service people have booked and what is going on. Then it sends the form VA retainer services immediately after all previous actions complete. So this is your proposal. So I've got this set as approved, so you can go in, you can edit the proposal before sending out if you want, as well as editing the email. I will show you this after I've shown the workflow. And then once you're ready for it to go, you can click approve. Then change project status immediately after all previous actions complete. This is to the project status proposal sent, just so you can keep track of everything on your project dashboard. You know who's had proposal sent and accept, or do you see where they are within your project funnel. Then we have I have two form reminders to complete their proposal. So send form VA retainer services if not completed within 5 days. Just a hey, notice you haven't filled in your proposal yet. If you like to, here it is, and the proposal's linked below. And again, and the same 8 days after, if the form is not filled in. If they complete the proposal, these emails will not trigger and they will not go out because there's conditional logic for the forms. So if they don't complete it, they'll send out. If they do complete it, they won't. Then we have hold actions until immediately after contract signed by client, and hold actions until immediately after invoice is paid in full. Again, if you have a deposit, that would be that deposit payment. We've used that trigger hold actions instead of pause workflow, because if you have the pause workflow, it pauses the workflow and doesn't unpause. You have to manually go in and unpause it yourself. So hold actions, it pauses the workflow until these actions are taking place. So it will not start the onboarding workflow until the contract has been signed and payment has been made. So this stops like the onboarding workflow starting for clients who haven't paid. So you can, if you wanted, you could add in some status changes here if you wanted, so contract signed. Yeah, so after all these steps are taking place, the onboarding workflow will automatically start with a welcome email sending out. Within my next video, I'll be showing you how to automate that process. So subscribe if you'd like to see that. But yeah, that is it really. It's pretty simple to set up. And yeah, so this will run. So I will show you now. So after discovery call, you could apply this workflow manually to the project. If it's a client you would like to work with, or if it seems to have gone well, I will walk you through now how that would work. and how that would look for you. I've come off my discovery call. My project has changed to needs proposal from my previous discovery call workflow. I'll go onto the project, click the workflows tab, then I will click on the payment workflow and click apply. This will then trigger the workflow. It'll add the contract, the invoice, and the proposal all to this one project. So I have the approve button to pause the workflow for me so I can go in and personalize the email and if I want to change anything on the proposal, I can. So when changing proposals for per client, you don't need to go into your main proposal under forms, add it to the project and it will go onto forms. You can click edit. You can change anything you want for the client here within this proposal, this form here, and it won't change your main template. So you can go in, tweak it, change it. If it's a bespoke quote, anything like that, you can go in and change what you want here. Then click save and close, and it will save that form for that client. Then if you want to personalize the email for the proposal going out, you can go in and you click this edit button next to this step here, and it'll have the email here and you can add in. So I've got add challenge 1 and challenge 2. You can go in, you can personalize and change this email however you want, and it won't change the template that is in your workflow template. So it won't change it switch it up for other clients. You'll go in, you can change that, click apply, and then click approve, and it will send out the invoice to your client, email it out. So everything has now been sent to the client, and now the workflow is just waiting for the client's actions of paying the invoice, signing the contract, and accepting the proposal. So the rest of this workflow will work then depending on the client's actions. And that's it. Your client is now booked, signed, and paid without you lifting a finger after the discovery call. If this helped, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and hit subscribe for more simple Dubsado tutorials like this, especially if you're a social media manager or online service provider trying to streamline your systems. If you're still feeling a bit stuck or want to fast track your setup, check out my done for you Dubsado setup service. I'll take the tech off your plate and build workflows that actually work for the way you run your business. You'll find the link to the free discovery call workflow template that I mentioned before in the description below, along with a link to my template shop if you'd like to download some templates. And don't miss the next video. I'll walk you through how to create an onboarding workflow in Dubsado that triggers off the payment workflow you just created, so your new clients get everything they need right after payment without you having to do anything. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.